Hi guys, this is a different format of video. I'm just going to share some of the things I've been learning and what I'm working on as well as a founder of admissions company in China, China Admissions and Global Admissions. So I've been making a number of YouTube videos for some time and I've been trying various formats and it's been pretty helpful to create video content. It's definitely helped our company to grow, China Admissions. It's very valuable to be creating content. We get a lot of students and customers who come from that and they see and value our content. And I'm going to share a bit more about our plans, what I plan to do in the future, and some of the things I've been learning. So, one of the big things I've learned recently, just from working and doing sales, is how important having a good microphone is. And I've really seen a massive conversion rate difference from having this microphone compared to AirPods, for example, or other microphones like uh, this one as well, which is actually not as good as this one, which is it's about $20-$25, and it's a really good microphone. Well, I mean, you can hear it now. I'm gonna share some other alternatives of like what this sounds like as well, but it really makes a difference on in terms of engagement and in this digital world, it's really important to have a good microphone that doesn't need to cost that much money. So that's one of the things that I've done that's had a massive effect on sales. I think before I was having sales calls and I could feel like they, it was kind of didn't feel, it felt a little bit rushed. And I think sometimes I could just feel the difference from maybe the room was a bit echoey and as soon as I had this, find that people kind of want to stay on the phone longer and longer, and they want to keep talking, which is quite a big difference to before when I felt like they wanted to finish early. Maybe it wasn't as pleasant, and I think having a clear microphone is so key in the digital world. So it's not a big investment. It can easily make like 100,000 times that return on getting a good microphone. Um, so you can check out this one. It's called the Black. I think I have the Blackwire. Let me just check. Poly Blackwire 3320 is what I'm using now. So you can search that. So yeah, a bit about my YouTube channel. So we create some content here on Channel Emissions, which I'm also creating on my own channel. And I basically had the target of creating 2 videos per week, and I am going to do more of it. I think one of the challenges that I've had so far is just making it kind of difficult. I mean, the challenge is just that it needs to be edited and it just takes time to create a good high quality video. So I'm kind of changing something a bit now, which is just having this format where I'm just talking and just kind of being more open about, or just being open about what I'm doing and just talking like I would to a friend about stuff that I'm learning and things. So I think it's really key to kind of enjoy making videos. Sometimes I felt like before the videos kind of have to make it in a certain way and it's just key to enjoy the process. So I'm going to be making videos like this that kind of feels a bit more natural and easier, and probably do less editing. So I'm going to see how that. I mean, I'm just going to do this and experiment a bit because the thing, it's all about experimenting really and learning what works. So yeah, I've been checking out. I've been learning a lot from other people who've been creating content like this. So I'm just planning to do more of it like that. And yeah, before, for example, this video here, which is 145,000 views, and I mean, it's not particularly amazing. It took probably about 20 hours to create. I was editing it myself. So if I have an editor doing it, which I'll probably do in the future, have some editors creating additional videos, but I think it's yeah, not I don't really have that much time every week to create videos, and yeah, that's basically my plan. So yeah, some of the things I've learned as well, which I think is really important when you're creating videos and when you're just doing things, and also like this is the business lesson as well, is just to be yourself because there's so many uh, people that are doing things, and you don't want to be in a competitive environment. You want to be in a you want to be unique, and when you're creating content and it's unique, there's nothing like what I'm. There's no one's going to create a video like this in the world but some of the other videos that I made, uh, some videos anyone can create it. Like I'm just going to be myself, and I think that's really important. And so this is like there's a book that I read called The Pumpkin Plan, which I think is a pretty good book, and it basically summarizes that there's so many different pumpkins, and you want to have something that stands out because if you have 100 pumpkins, you're not going to choose the middle one. You're going to choose the best one. You're going to choose the biggest pumpkin, for example. So you want to be the best in something. You don't want to be a commodity because it's like, for example, this is a graph which shows the commodities and something that's different. So if you look at, for example, rice, which is just anyone can get it, you can what matters when you're negotiating is what's the alternative. So if you're going to look at rice, you can get rice. If you don't get it from one somewhere else, you're going to get it somewhere else. It's the same product. It doesn't matter. The thing about Apple products, which is a unique example, is just there's nothing like an Apple product. So it has a uniqueness about it that just enables it to charge more, and you can't be negotiated. And so that's why it's important to be yourself and be different. And being different is a massive advantage. You don't want to be the same. There's another good book I read, which is like what I learned when I sold to Warren Buffett, where it talks about a sales diamond company that just had these differences in their diamonds that compared to the others in the market, and they managed to sell for a premium their diamonds because they were different. Because people are looking for something different. You don't want to just be the same as other people. That's why creating content, doing something different can be a big advantage. It's something I've learned. And then if there's just so many other competitors, then it just eats away at the competition, eats away at the profits, and you just don't get the return. You can just work infinitely hard, and you don't have any negotiating power. It's the same when you're working in a company. If you are replaceable, then you're not going to you're just going to be competing against other people who can take your place. So you want to be irreplaceable, different, nothing else, no one else can be like that. So this is why I'm making more natural style content because it's more unique. So yeah, something else I learned, which is you can check out Naval Ravikant, and there's this idea here that in the actual economy, you always learn that there's like these are the factors of production. So you can basically make a business or you can make value by combining these things together in a way. But this is something that is not true anymore because these have changed. And there's a great book I read called um, Sovereign Individual. I think that's the name. And in this book, it's basically looking at a load of interesting things about this topic. And in this, yeah, basically there's like a new way of doing it, which I try and find. And these are the new ways of the new factors of. So these are the new factors of production. So if we have these are the leverage points of leverage. So you have labor, capital, land, media, and code. So if you want to do well, you want to make good return on your money or provide value to the marketplace, then you can combine these five things. And so if you look at someone like, and this is what leverage is all about. Leverage is like you can do some work and then you get some equal return. So if you go down and just any kind of work where you just sell your services, for example, you're not going to have much leverage if you're kind of um, just doing some job paid by the hour, like cleaning, for example. Nothing against cleaning, it just doesn't have leverage if you're cleaning for your own time. But you can combine these kind of things together and get massive leverage, which means you can put in far less effort and then get a massive result. So everyone knows about that in finance, right? You can just put in a little bit of money and then the bank can give you a loan and then the value of the house goes up and then you can get a much bigger return on it, much more than the initial that you put down. And so this applies to everything else, like it applies to using these other factors of production. So the really powerful thing is just to combine all of these together, and you're just going to see huge leverage. So, for example, um, this is where the big opportunities are. So, if you can just, like, for example, if you're creating YouTube videos that are different and they're about cryptocurrency, which is like a combination of capital and code and your media, and then you hire someone to help you with creating the content or even create their content themselves, then this is just combining all of these new ways of creating value, the new leverage, points of leverage. So it's just all about combining all these things. Elon Musk is an amazing example of someone who's just combining all these points of leverage. So he's using Twitter, which is media plus code. He's used capital to like buy Twitter, and he's got a team of people working in there. And then he's got this media empire that's combining with uh, his other kind of coders, like these other things that he's doing, such as Tesla and SpaceX, which is all like technology based, using labor and capital together. And it's just my goal is just to become extremely proficient at all of these factors of production and then combine them, leverage. And I think it's really important because something that I've learned really in the last few years is that I've just sometimes worked insanely hard and not got a not got a fair like haven't the return hasn't been uh, as much as it could have been. I think I've learned a lot, but it's about being smart and how I combine my effort and focus to make it more efficient and more using more leverage. And yeah, so I think in the last year I've definitely improved a lot in how I work with people in our team. So we've created very clear processes and systems for our team. And one of the great books that I've learned that's helped me with that is this Buy Back Your Time. It gives you a clear framework for how to grow a team and how to manage a team. Because before I always thought that I think I had a barrier of what my next step was, which is that I thought that I needed to keep kind of working harder as I get to each level. So, for example, if you're like the CEO of a massive company, it's going to be harder than if you're a CEO of a startup. So I always kind of thought myself that it's going to get harder and harder as you grow. You're going to have to put in more and more effort. But it's actually so many things in business is counterintuitive. Actually, when you grow a company, it can actually in some way get easier and easier, like in terms of effort, because you can then hire people that are making so you're not spending your effort on some tasks that are draining you and some tasks that are pulling you back. And you can then put your time into those really high leverage tasks. For example, it depends on your personality, but some tasks are just going to be completely draining for you and they're going to help you lose energy. You're not going to want to do it, and that's not normal. That's not what it should feel like. And when you get in the right flow, it's amazing how easy it is, which is something that I've learned that it's not really related to effort, it's related to being smart and using your time through leverage. So this is kind of why I'm also making these videos because the amazing thing about media is that I can create a video that reaches a lot of people and it's just a small amount of effort instead of doing one-on-one calls with people, for example, I just creating media has a massive leverage. So yeah, and then a bit about us and a bit about me is I'm currently in Dubai and I have set up a company which is China Emissions, and this is an online platform to apply to universities in China. I'm actually planning to move to China back and live there in March. I've just come back from China, but I'm gonna I go there regularly, and we're just building out a bigger team in China, and this is kind of becoming more, it's definitely growing in China. So I'm building a team, hiring really talented people, and we're also launching it. And we at the same time we also have another platform, Global Admissions, which is like our online platform to apply to universities all around the world. And so we have the same team who's managing both of them. And so this is our new platform that we've been working on a long time to develop, which is going to go live soon, and I'm really excited for this to go live. And you can see, so I'll share some links to it. So yeah, this is great because it has the back end, it has our everything in it together. It has our CRM system, our blog articles, and our events as well. So yeah, so this is a random video that I'm sharing some of the stuff I learned. And if you have any questions, like what do you think of this format, and you can let me know. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll also be sharing some other stuff in the future. For example, about my life in China, what I'm thinking about China, and yeah, maybe I can also share some of my thoughts about China because I think a lot of people don't really understand China, and so I want to share some of my thoughts about China because yeah, in the last few years, a lot of people have left China. There's fewer expats. Yeah, so in the last few years, a lot of people have left China. There's fewer expats in China, and but one of the things I've learned is, and there's a lot of people here saying kind of negative things about China sometimes, and I think a lot of people have China wrong. One of the big lessons I've learned about China is, or about living in different countries, is that it's not so much about the place as it is about your mindset. And China is changing a lot. I think there's a lot of opportunities there right now. There's 1.4 billion people, 0.05% expats. So I think it's incredible opportunity. But I think to access China, it's extremely important to learn Chinese and mix with the Chinese people rather than the expat bubble. So I'm going to share some more thoughts about China and things like that in the future videos and what I'm building and things like that. So if you'd like to join along, or you can also subscribe to my newsletter and YouTube and to this channel. Cheers, guys.